The story begins with a chilling news report about a global phenomenon: massive sinkholes appearing in several countries. From these gaping chasms emerged alien creatures known as reapers, believed to have been buried deep underground for thousands of years. Within just 2 months of their arrival, 95% of the human population was wiped out. What's truly terrifying is that the reapers only attack humans below 8,000 feet above sea level. This forces the remaining 5% of humanity to flee to high-altitude regions, over 8,000 feet, about 2.4 kilometers above sea level, just to survive. Three years after the Reapers first appeared, the story shifts to a group of survivors living high up in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. Among them is a daring boy named Hunter, who decides to risk it all and venture below the 8,000-foot safety line just to find some nightshade berries. What starts as a bold idea quickly turns into a heart-pounding moment of terror. While Hunter is busy scanning the area with his binoculars, completely absorbed in his search, he's suddenly jolted by the unexpected and terrifying appearance of a Reaper. And that's where things take a turn. After narrowly escaping the Reaper, Hunter makes it back to the refuge, perched at 8,460 feet above sea level, where 193 people now live. Shaken but safe, Hunter immediately tells his father, Will, about what just happened. With guilt written all over his face, he promises he'll never do anything that reckless again.
I need you to understand that.
Her name is Katie, Will's close friend and trusted hunting partner. She's always by his side when they go out hunting deer. While they're out, Will opens up to her about what Hunter did earlier that morning. He explains that Hunter wasn't just out looking for nightshade berries. Instead, he went to the spot where his mother was killed, an event that happened about 2 years ago.
He didn't just go there to see Red Rock. It's the last place he saw his mother.
On his way back with their game in tow, Will passes by a neighbor's house, Nina's place. Nina is known for constantly experimenting, trying to create a bullet capable of piercing a Reaper's skin. It's no small task. The Reaper's tough scales are so strong that even bombs and missiles barely make a dent. But Nina never gives up, always tinkering and testing, determined to find a solution. Later that night, while Will is fast asleep, he's suddenly jolted awake by the sound of Hunter struggling to breathe. It doesn't take long to realize that his son has severe asthma, something Will hadn't fully understood until now. Hunter desperately needs an oxygen tank with a proper filter to help manage his condition, something that's not easy to come by in their harsh new reality.
Oh, I love you, man.
The problem is, Will only has one oxygen filter left. To make things worse, the nearest hospital is pretty far away, and it's right in the middle of the red zone, below 8,000 feet. It's a dangerous gamble, but without more filters, Hunter's chances of surviving are slim. Not wanting to worry Hunter, Will pretends everything is fine the next morning and goes about their usual routine, tending to the potato garden behind the house. Those potatoes are their lifeline. Will uses them to barter for whatever modern foods are still available, like macaroni, trading his harvest for essentials to keep them going.
Happy birthday.
That night, Hunter's asthma flares up again. With the oxygen tank completely empty, Will has no choice but to give him a sedative injection to keep him calm for the time being. It's a desperate move, but it's the only option Will has left. Realizing this can't go on, Will knows he has no choice but to head to the nearest hospital in the red zone. Desperate for help, he goes to Nina, his neighbor, to ask her to join him. But Nina refuses. Without a bullet capable of piercing a Reaper's skin, the risk is simply too great.
A boulder will have a crate of them. But if I don't go, Hunter dies.
So what? Do me a favor, Nina. Let's go. Let's die together.
You've studied them for years.
Frustrated by Nina's refusal, Will brings up their painful past. He reminds her that she and his late wife used to be close friends, both scientists who once worked together to fight the Reapers. Sadly, Will's wife and their team didn't make it through a deadly incident, and Nina was the only one who survived.
You owe me this much. For Tara.
Even if you make it there, they'll be there waiting for you.
Just after Will leaves, Nina reveals something she's been working on in secret: her modified compass. It's now a Reaper detection device, and she's made impressive progress with it. Will heads straight home and leaves Hunter with another neighbor for safekeeping. The next morning, he goes to the weapons stash, a place open for anyone to use for the greater good. To his surprise, Katie shows up, offering to join him. And outside, Nina is already waiting, ready to head out with them.
You can't go out there alone. You need a partner to watch your back.
Right, Nina's going with me.
The three of them are about to embark on a high-risk journey to reach the nearest hospital. Along the way, Nina pulls out the compass she built the night before and explains how it works. She tells them that the Reapers' bodies create a strong magnetic field, so with her device, they can detect the Reaper's presence from about 800 meters away. A few minutes into the red zone, Will and the others come across a military vehicle wreckage from a past battle with the Reapers. Tension rises when Katie insists they keep moving, but Nina wants to stay and investigate after spotting a Reaper scale. Will steps in, calming them down and managing to get the situation under control before things get out of hand.
I'm fine.
What surprises them is when they find a few horses still alive, roaming freely in the forest. This leads them to the conclusion that the Reapers only attack humans, leaving animals and smaller creatures unharmed. When they reach the ski area with the working gondola, Nina's compass picks up a Reaper's presence, getting closer. In a panic, Katie bolts off on her own, running toward the safe zone, which is still a long way away. Meanwhile, Will and Nina hop onto the gondola, hoping it still works. And this is where things take a turn. Since the Reapers aren't affected by explosives, Katie has no choice but to join Will and Nina on the gondola. She climbs up one of the towers trying to reach them, and this is what happens next. The tension isn't over yet. The Reaper keeps chasing them, and Nina runs out of ammo. Just as they're nearly at the safety line, the gondola cable suddenly snaps, sending all of them plummeting. And this is what happens next. That night, they take shelter in an abandoned inn, trying to rest while discussing the mystery of the Reapers. Even now, the truth about them remains unclear. One surprising new fact is that the Reapers don't attack animals or smaller creatures, which throws them all off. Katie has a theory that the Reapers are creatures sent by God to wipe out humanity. Nina, on the other hand, believes they're aliens sent to take over Earth. Will, however, has his own theory. He thinks the Reapers were intentionally created by the government or global elites to reduce the human population.
So how do we take our place back?
They came out of nowhere, all at once.
The next day, they continue their journey and reach an old mine tunnel, the entrance still within the safe zone. According to Will, the exit is also above 8,000 feet, so they should be safe. However, Nina remains worried, uncertain if the safe zone marker is accurate. Doubts start to creep in, but despite her concerns, they push forward since they've already come this far.
Let's go.
Armed with flashlights and wearing mining helmets for light, they make their way through the pitch-black tunnel. After what feels like forever, they finally reach a dead end, with a heavy, locked door blocking their path. Not giving up, Will finds another way, a set of stairs leading down, which obviously takes them below the safe zone. But with the same reasoning as before, since they've already come this far, Nina reluctantly agrees to follow. Once they're down below, Will and the others are immediately shocked by something moving in the darkness. And suddenly... Yep, it's the Reaper, and it starts chasing the three of them right away. Nina quickly tells Will and Katie to hold their breath, explaining that the Reaper uses its glowing tentacles to detect the carbon dioxide humans breathe out. Unable to hold their breath much longer, the Reaper finally realizes where they are. Katie becomes the first to fall, with Will and Nina helpless, unable to do anything to stop it. When they finally make it to the surface, back in the safe zone, Will and Nina walk until they find a small cabin with a guard's car parked outside, just like it's been for the past 3 years. They stay there for the night, talking about what Nina has been up to all this time. As we know, Nina's been researching ways to kill the Reapers. She explains that the Reaper's skin is covered in an electrical field, which serves as their defense system. If Nina had magnesium oxide to coat the projectiles, she believes it could destroy the Reapers, and humans wouldn't have to be trapped in the Highlands anymore.
A magic bullet? Literally a magic bullet.
It's not magic, it's science.
It's a guess.
The next morning, Will and Nina jump into the running car and head straight for the hospital. Once they get there, they waste no time, moving fast to find what they need. Will manages to grab several oxygen tanks for his son, but just as he's about to leave, a Reaper suddenly appears and attacks. And this is what happens next. Will successfully destroyed the Reaper by shooting a gas cylinder filled with magnesium oxide. This reinforced Nina's theory about coating bullets with the compound. However, to get magnesium oxide in liquid form, they needed to go to Nina's old lab, located several kilometers away from the hospital. Without wasting any time, Will and Nina hit the road immediately. When they arrived at the lab, it took Nina about 5 minutes to prepare the bullets. But instead of letting her focus on her work, Will brought up a photo of Nina with her family, who had died 3 years ago. Instead of making good use of those precious 5 minutes, Nina's concentration was thrown off, replaced by a wave of sadness that crept into her thoughts.
The worst part is I chose not to go to that game. I'm sure you've had the same thought about Tara.
Once Nina finished with the bullets, she immediately tested them on the Reaper skin she had brought with her. And guess what? Yeah, the bullets still couldn't penetrate the Reaper's skin. But Nina wasn't about to give up that easily. She decided to keep searching for a better formula and told Will to head back home for his son's safety.
I won't need your help to get back. I'll be on the road right behind you. There's no point in you dying here with me. Go. Go be with Hunter.
After Will left, Nina kept experimenting, mixing other materials she could find in the lab. Then, a glimmer of hope appeared when she heated the liquid, and suddenly... Whether Nina's attempt worked or not, we turn back to Will, who was still on the road. Just as he was driving, his rear tire blew out, causing his car to flip over before he could make it to safety. A few Reapers began closing in on Will, forcing him to make a quick dash up a hill. But with its rocky, uneven terrain, the climb was almost impossible. Will ended up stuck just 1 meter away from the safe zone. And this is what happened next. Somehow, Nina managed to get there just in time. She had already perfected the bullet that could kill the Reapers. Thanks to her, Will was finally saved. What's interesting is that the Reapers aren't actually living creatures. They're machines, robots. This led to the conclusion that Nina's theory about aliens trying to take over Earth might actually be true. It would explain why the Reapers never sleep, never breathe, and never go higher than 8,000 feet. They're likely programmed that way by their creators.
That's not a living creature. That's programming.
By who?
The reason behind the 8,000-foot limit remains a mystery. But for now, the most important thing is that they found an effective way to kill the Reapers. Their next step is to spread this information to everyone, so humanity can reclaim the lowlands that were once their home.
Radiator blew half a mile back.
When they arrived at the refuge, Will immediately reunited with his son, while Nina raised a flag, a symbol of hope and resistance. They began mass-producing the bullets Nina had discovered, marking the start of a new chapter for the remaining survivors of humanity on Earth. Finally, after Will and the remaining humans started reclaiming their land, something strange happened. A mysterious object fell from the sky, and it seemed likely that it was an alien arrival, bringing a whole new way to try and take over Earth. The end, a conclusion that's pretty out of left field. The message we can take from Will and the remaining humans is that we all have our own ways of surviving without the ones we love. Some hold on through memories, while others are hurt by them. I'm John. On behalf of the board of directors, just wanted to say thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.